I know everybody's getting tired of learning retopology, but tell you what, today I'm gonna show you how I retopologize in Blender. I'll be explaining my workflow, all the patterns and plans I use to make it so much easier and simpler. So first, if you like, please give me a like and let's get into it. Actually, by doing retopology, you can decrease the poly count, which is so important for you if you want to design characters for games and films. And the other thing is that your characters are supposed to move or get deformed, and animators should be able to animate them. So there are a few essential loops that your characters should have for this goal. And you can see these essential loops in my character, which are purple. So by doing the retopology, actually you can create these essential loops for animation. And also we want the characters look good and smooth, so the topology here is so important. Okay, in this video I'm trying to show you my workflow for topology in Blender, and actually the concept and workflow I'm trying to show you here can be applied to all 3D software, so please just focus on learning the skill and practice them. So now, before starting retopology in Blender, let's see a few important retopo techniques that in order to be able to retopologize faster and easier, you'd better know them. So here are a few cards that I created them for you. Actually, if you learn this method, you'll be able to create perfect quads for the topology, and you can add more geometry to the areas you want. For example, the first card shows you that 3 faces converted to 1 face. So you should have the ability of converting 1 face into 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces without creating any triangles or n-gons, and just focus on creating quads, which are 4-sided polygons. Okay, now for splitting the faces, I usually use knife tool. First, I'm gonna start at this corner here and then cut at the middle and then end it at this corner. Then I'm gonna remove these edges. As you see, we created this loop here. I converted 1 face into 3 faces, and this is a good thing to spread the geometry in the areas that I need in my characters. And as you see, we have quads all over the mesh. If I click Ctrl R and add an edge here, you see that actually I converted 2 faces into 4 faces. Okay, in the next card, I should convert 1 face to 2 faces. So I'm gonna start at this corner, cut in the middle, and end it here. Then I remove this edge. So as you see, we created this loop here, and also I converted 1 face to 2 faces, and I converted the n-gon that we had into quads, and I removed the triangle. So the next card says that we should be able to convert 2 faces into 4 faces. As you see, we have 2 n-gons on the bottom of the card, so we have to do something to remove them. So I'm gonna start at this corner, cut at the middle of these edges, and then end them at this corner. Then I'm gonna remove these edges in order to remove these triangles because we actually don't need them. And as you see again, I created this loop here and I converted 2 faces into 4 faces. So the next card says that I should be able to convert 3 faces into 5 faces. So I'm gonna start at this corner, cut in the middle of these edges, and then end it here at this corner. Then I'm gonna remove these edges to remove any triangles here, and then you see that I created this loop here and then converted 3 faces into 5 faces. Actually, I'm gonna show you some important obstacles that you may encounter during the retopology process. So first, imagine that during the retopology process you have this shape here. So we have these triangles here that we want to remove them. If you just split these triangles at this middle here and connect the points, and then I'm gonna remove these edges. You can see that I removed the triangles and I just created new quads easily. In the next card, I'm gonna show you this shape. So if I just remove this edge here and then these edges around the triangle, if I just remove these edges here, you can have perfect quads like so. And as you see, this shape in the middle are similar to a diamond, so you can keep that in mind. In the next card, I'm gonna show you another method for converting one face into 3 faces. Actually, for this goal, I can create 2 diamonds here. Just notice that how I'm gonna do that. I just use the knife tool and start splitting and cutting these edges like so. And as you see, I just created 2 diamonds here, and all the faces are quads without any other triangles or n-gons. Also, in the next card, I'm gonna show you another way for decreasing the amount of polygons. First of all, I'm gonna merge these points by hitting M and merge them. And then by using the knife tool, I'm gonna split these edges at the middle and connect the points together. So actually guys, these cards that I showed you are so important for doing the retopology process so fast and easy. So I hope you like this method, and I'm gonna use these methods and techniques in practice. So let's continue the video and start doing the retopology process in Blender. Okay guys, let's start retopology in Blender. First of all, I'm gonna go to Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, and I'm gonna check a few add-ons like F2 and Loop Tools, and also B-surfaces, because I just want to show you how to use these add-ons together, and at the end you are the one to decide which workflow actually works for you. Actually, I made a video about the top modeling skills that you need to know before starting retopology in Blender. I put it up here. Make sure to watch this video before starting practicing retopology. First, select your character. Then you can find B-surfaces add-on in Edit option here. If you want to start using B-surfaces add-on, first you need to select your character and then choose this, Initialize at B-surface mesh. Actually, when you choose this, it's going to create a retopology setup which includes snapping and adding shrink wrap modifier to your mesh. And as you see, this add-on creates this automatically for you. Actually guys, I explained all of these setup in my previous video. And then if you want to add mirror modifier, you can choose this button here, and it added a few modifiers like mirror modifier and subdivision surface modifier, but we don't need them. We just need mirror modifier and shrink wrap modifiers, so remove the rest of them. So if I want to tell you anything about B-surfaces add-on, actually it works with Annotate tool. This add-on works like this. You can draw polygons by using Annotate tool and then choose Add Surface, and then from here you can change some settings like cross or follow, and you see that the polygons change. So every time you can do this and change the setting. And if I want to continue adding polygons here, first I have to choose these points, and then using Annotate tool I should draw here and then click Add Surface. And you see that it creates polygon. For example, again, I choose these points here and then click Add Surface, and it creates polygons. So an important tip here is that from here, from this option here, you can choose Auto Merge, and you can always change the threshold to whatever you like. And then when you move the points like so, you can see that they merge to each other automatically, and this is a useful tip that saves you time for your retopology process. So make sure to turn on this option here, Auto Merge. As you see, I just moved the points and they merge together automatically. Also, you can go to Loop Tools in this Edit here and select a few points or edges like so, and then click on Relax in order to relax edges and the points. Again, I can say that I explained all of these things in my previous video, so make sure to watch it. So let's start our retopology process here. First, I usually create the essential loops for my character's face and body. Actually, these loops are needed for the character to be able to animate and deform well. And it's so faster and simpler if you just start retopologizing by first adding these essential edge loops to your characters. Then after creating these tools, the next step would be connecting these loops to each other. I want to start by drawing my first loop here around the eyes. So I press D and hold and try to draw all over the eyes. Then click Add Surface. And then if you click on Cycle Across, you can see that it creates a loop for you. And this option is useful when you want to add polygons like a circle. And as you can see, this B-Surface add-on is so useful, but you just need to get used to it. Actually, in my workflow, I don't always use B-Surfaces add-on. I just use the B-Surface add-on whenever I need it. And in this video, actually, I'm gonna use the Annotate tool for just creating the essential loops, and for connecting the loops, I'm gonna use the F2 add-ons and the loop tools and the extrude tool. You know, it's not necessary to always use B-Surface add-on. We can just activate it like what I'm doing here and use it whenever you need it. Okay, let's go and create another essential loop here. Again, I use Annotate tool, draw the polygons, click Add Surface, and then because I don't want to create any circle here, I'm just gonna uncheck Cycle Across, and then because I checked the clipping option in my mirror modifier, I can snap these together. As you see, I'm gonna choose this loop here and then click on Relax or Space. You can choose the points or the edges or the faces, and by pressing G or S, you can move them, scale them, and try to clean them actually. Also, whenever I see an extra edge anywhere, I can choose the edge and press Delete and then choose Dissolve Edges. Or you can choose the edge and click Ctrl X to remove it. Okay, the next essential loop here is this loop. So I'm gonna press D and hold and draw these lines here, and then press Add Surface. Then I'm gonna snap these points together. There are a few other useful add-ons like Retopo flow or other things that if you learn the skill that I'm gonna show you today in this video, you can use any add-ons you are comfortable with. Just focus on learning the skills. So I'm gonna create another essential loop which is around the mouth. Draw these lines here and then click Add Surface and then snap these points together. Then start moving these points and cleaning these polygons, and then you can again use these loop tools here to relax the points. I'm gonna start creating another essential loop here which starts from here, so I just choose these edges and click F to bridge them, and then start extruding this edge from here. And instead of clicking E for extruding the edges, you can first click E to extrude the first edge and then start holding Ctrl and hit right click on your mesh to create new polygons for you. And then if you like, you can choose these loops here and click on Relax to relax the points. And also whenever you want, you can hit Ctrl R to add a new edge or add a new loop. So the next essential loop would be here, so I'm gonna draw these lines here like so. And then click Add Surface, and then here we are. And the last essential loop would be here around the ear. So here again, I'm gonna do the same process like before. Okay guys, we just created all the essential loops for the face. Now the next step is to connect these essential loops to each other. So for connecting these polygons together, I usually start creating polygons at the middle of the face here. So I'm gonna select the edges, extrude them, and then Ctrl R to add new edges. You see guys, this is not a rule to start from the center, but I'm just so comfortable with starting from the middle of the face. I think it would be so faster for me. Usually when I create a few polygons in some parts of the face or body, I start to clean them. And if the faces are uneven, don't worry about them, because later when I finish the face retopology, I'm gonna show you how to smooth them quickly. So after creating the polygons in the middle of the face, I'm gonna start from the eyes and connect these edges by select them and click F to bridge them, then Ctrl R to add a loop, because we should always think about the polygons around one polygon and see how actually we can connect them. So if we need any new loops or any new edges, we should just add them and then start bridging the edges by hitting F or extruding them by hitting E. And another point is that when you're adding new geometry everywhere, just focus on good distribution of edges and try to look at good topology references and just study them. And then select these edges and click F to bridge them. And here, as you see, because I'm gonna connect these faces together, I need extra loops here, so I click Ctrl R and add new loops here. Then from here I can select this edge and click F to add new polygons, and whenever I need a new loop I can hit Ctrl R to add a new loop and then continue clicking F. As you see, this is just like a puzzle, so take it easy, practice. Also here I can select this point here and click F to add a new polygon, because I already activated the F2 add-ons, so I can use it like so. Here, if I want to connect these two essential loops together, first I can select these edges and bridge them, and actually you don't need to worry about the size of these squares and think about how big they are, because later we'll add new loops by hitting Ctrl R. So here we see this triangle here. If we add a new loop here, we can have a quad. So here we just need to add a new loop by hitting Ctrl R and then click F to bridge them. Also, I can do another thing here. I can hit K and bring my knife tool here and create this edge here, and then dissolve this edge, add a new loop here, and then connect these edges together. And please don't worry about these uneven faces here, because later I'm gonna show you how I smooth them quickly. So for connecting these two essential loops here, first I'm gonna start here, add new loops here, and then start choosing these points here and click F to add new polygons and connect them together. I'm gonna do the same process for these polygons here. And as you see guys, if we have our essential loops, the rest would be so easier. Then I'm gonna start choosing these points and click F to bridge. And guys, I suggest that after watching this video, please just practice with this video step by step and make sure to practice a few times with new characters. And after doing the retopology for a few characters, I assure you that after a while it seems like a puzzle to you. So just make sure to watch this video and practice step by step with me. Here also I can add polygons by hitting F and add them one by one. And because I turned on the merge option, which I showed you earlier, whenever I move a point or an edge to another point and edge and move them close to each other, they merge together automatically, which is so useful and save you time. So guys, here's another tip. If you want to smooth these faces and make them perfect square, you can select your new topology and go to sculpt mode and just select smooth brush, decrease the strength of it, and then start smoothing these faces. And you can see how easily we can smooth these faces and relax them. As you see, our new topology is way more cleaner. So we go back to edit mode, and if there are any points that are not snapped to each other, we can select them and move them to snap to each other in the middle of the face. Or also we can use the loop tools to relax the points and make them cleaner. Then here I'm gonna select this edge and click F to add this new geometry, and I think these loops here are extra and we don't need them, and dissolve the edges and go to sculpt mode and start smoothing this area here to see if we need actually more loops here or not. So just click shift to smooth or go to smooth brush and smooth the whole shape. And then again you can go to edit mode, select these points, go to vertex menu and choose smooth vertices, and you can see that this is another useful method to smooth the vertices like so. Actually guys, there is another video that I made it and I explained top 10 modifiers I use in Blender and actually how to use them effectively for creating 3D characters in Blender. So I put the video up here. Make sure to watch it because it's so useful. So now I'm gonna start creating new polygons for the lips, but I'm not gonna close the lips because later we should create polygons inside the mouth in order to be able to open and close the mouth. So we just need to add another loops here. And then now we're gonna create polygons here. I just need to select these points and hit F to create new polygons. And I'm gonna create polygons around the nose and clean them. Then bridge these edges together, and here again we need another loop, so click Ctrl R to add new loop. And guys, here's another tip. If you wanna split points or edges, you can select the points or the edges and press V to split them like so. Then here I'm gonna create these polygons for the nose like so. And actually guys, whenever I see a circle or the hole like this, I'm just gonna start creating new polygons around the circle, and then I worry about connecting the rest of them. We can select these points here and click I to inset, or we can do these holes later. Then again, I choose my new mesh and go to sculpt mode and start using the smooth brush and smooth the whole faces. Actually, it helps to clean your topology and have a good distribution of faces all over the mesh. Then it's time to connect these two essential loops together, and also whenever you want, you can duplicate your shrink wrap modifier, apply the first one, and then use the duplicate one for your mesh. So for the back of the head, first I'm going to select these edges and continue extruding them, scale them. Then I'm going to select these edges here and again start extruding and scaling them until here in this part. Then I'm going to select these two edges at the back of the ear and connect them to these edges here. And if we move them close to the new edges, they can merge together automatically. Again, I extrude these edges here and make sure to add new loops whenever we need it, and do the same process as before. Sometimes we can select these edges here first and then click F to add this new polygon here, and after that we can think about how connect these edges together by using knife tool. And here, I think we can remove this loop here. So I can choose these edges and then click M. And this time choose collapse. And you can see that they are removed. So now guys, I'm gonna show you an important tip here. And actually, I'm gonna use the cards that I explained for you at the beginning of this video. So when I choose these edges together and click F to bridge them, here we have two options. The first option is that we can create these loops here and connect these points together so we have a clean topology like before. But sometimes we don't need to add extra geometry around the ear, and we don't want to add another extra loop here. So what should we do? We can use the cards. Actually here we can use the diamond technique. So I'm just gonna use the knife tool and split the faces like so and create another loop here. So as you see, all of them are quads, and we remove the triangle and we are good. And there are another option that you can use your knife tool and create these triangles here and use another card that I already explained to you, and then split this face by using the knife tool, and here we go, we have quads again and we remove the triangles. I'm gonna go with the first option and then go to sculpt mode and start smoothing the whole shape. So guys, just do the same process for creating these new polygons like before. So as you see at the back of the head and also for the body, we don't want the resolution that we use for the face, and we can use the lower resolution and we can use bigger faces. So how we can just remove a few extra loops here at the back of the head? Again, we can use the cards method. For example, we can convert 2 faces into 1 face or 3 faces into 1, and like so. Then I'm just gonna select these edges and Ctrl X to dissolve these edges. Then I'm gonna do the same process for these edges here. And as you see here, we want to convert 2 faces into 1 face. So press K and then split these faces like me. And as you see, we just removed 2 loops that we didn't need anymore. Also here, I can choose these edges and click M and select collapse. Do the same process for these edges here. So now we should remove these triangles. What do? We can split these edges here and connect them together so we can have perfect squares all over the mesh. So as you see guys, we just removed another 2 extra loops. Now it's the time to figure out the cards that I explained to you were too important. So just focus on practicing them in the first place. Then I'm gonna go to sculpt mode and use smooth brush again to smooth all these faces. Now for the ear, guys, we just need to do the same process all over the ear. We start from somewhere, extrude a few edges, and then start connecting them together. And whenever you end up with a triangle or n-gons, you just need to use the cards that I explained to you and remove them. Guys, for the topology process, keep a few points in mind. Always, it's better to try your best to keep these polygons square as much as you can. And another thing is that don't make the faces too small or too big. Actually, you should have even distribution all over the object. If you make very small faces, you will have too much detail, and actually dealing with them would be a very difficult work to do later. So always have even distribution of edges all along the mesh. Another thing is that we should end up with quads which has 4 edges or is a 4-sided polygons. And we want to remove any n-gons which has 5 edges or any triangles. We want to avoid triangles and n-gons because if we have triangles and n-gons, later we're gonna have smoothing issues, so don't forget that. But sometimes you're gonna have a few triangles, so just make sure that you don't have triangles around the areas where they're gonna deform or animate. You can just add triangles where it's not gonna be animated or there are no essential loops or it's not visible there. But try to avoid them as much as you can. Now for the eyes, I can select these edges and extrude them and then merge them together as you see guys. And as you see guys, I did all the retopology process for the face of this character and you saw my workflow. Of course, there are times that I use another workflow for my retopology process, but actually currently this is the main workflow that I use for doing the retopology process in Blender. And I hope you liked this video guys, and also let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and also let me know your retopology workflow in Blender or any other 3D software in the comments below. I would be so glad. Thanks for watching. See you soon.